A couple of years ago, we took our kids to see the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia. We pointed out the words from the Torah inscribed on the bell, "Proclaim liberty throughout the land for all its inhabitants," and we explained its history. We told them about how the bell would call the lawmakers like Benjamin Franklin to the State House in the early days of our country, and that the bell became an important symbol for abolitionists seeking to end slavery and later for women fighting for the right to vote. Despite this illustrious history, what made the biggest impression on my son Solly was the bell's large crack. He couldn't stop looking at it, asking about it, and wondering how it got there. How did it start? Would it crack more? Was it a small crack and then it got bigger? Why didn't the crack go all the way up to the top? While American society often valorizes perfection and strength, Solly was fascinated by the big bell hanging in Independence Hall precisely because it was broken. I have a sugar dish that I bought at Eastern Market in Washington, D.C. while I was in college. It was one of my first purchases of real beauty as a young adult. The hand-painted ceramic bowl has a lid that fits perfectly on top, and I love the feeling of carefully replacing it after spooning out the sugar for my coffee every morning. This sugar dish has sat on the counter of every home I've lived in for the last 25 years. One morning last year, the lid slipped from my hand, hit the hard counter, and broke. I couldn't imagine throwing it away. I couldn't imagine not seeing it there at the beginning of each day, so I superglued the pieces back together again. It's not perfect, but even broken, it's still beautiful. The crack is just another part of what makes the dish special, part of the story of the many mornings that make up my life. On Yom Kippur, we are all too aware of what is broken. We call out our sins one by one, owning up to the many ways in which we have failed. We recount the pain done to us and try to forgive. We ask forgiveness for the pain that we have inflicted on others. We are not perfect, but perfection is not the goal. Our failures and transgressions are part of our story, part of the story of being human. Rather than covering up the cracks or refusing to admit that they are there at all, a child's fascination with the Liberty Bell and a glued-together sugar dish remind us to embrace brokenness and allow it to transform us. Through the process of tshuva, we proclaim the truth of who we have been and who we wish to be. And then we work to transform our lives by acknowledging the cracks, repairing what is broken, and returning to our better selves. In the words of Leonard Cohen, "Ring the bells that still can ring. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in." This is the holy work of Yom Kippur. We are all broken, and there is still beauty and light to be found within us all. We'll continue on